Okay, now let's get you on speakerphone if we can do that. I can't figure it out. Oh well. Ugh. Okay, so ask away. My profession. Okay. as wow, how to put this? As a veterinarian, I am a doctor of many species, and I try to promote animal health and human health by taking care of all these different species, and that pretty much is the brunt of it. Um, yeah, I just like to fix things. um, well, for an exotic or a wildlife veterinarian, there really wouldn't be a typical workday. I mean, if you think about the number of species that are out there, that we have as domesticated pets, anything from servals to lions and tigers and bears to turtles and snakes. And then, of course, when it comes to your wildlife, we have pelicans and shorebirds and seagulls and hawks and owls and all these things actually coming in, being an issue. So, there would be no typical day. You'd show up hopefully at about 9 o'clock and you'd stay there. And if you're actually part of the rescuing process, you might be in a car driving around answering wildlife calls or things like that, which is what I like to do sometime in the near future. And and be able to wrestle these animals to get them to the hospital. Once they got to the hospital, you triage them, and depending on their species and their issues and situation, and then you just treat them. So I mean, there wouldn't really be ever be a typical day. If I could say anything outside of veterinary training, zoology training, and going to trying to get a minor in zoology or just understanding the differences between all the species you treat is probably one of the best skills you can have. That and a lot of patience. Are you recording this? Because I'm talking pretty fast. The number of species, the lack of education amongst our many species. When you think about it, we're a human. You go to the pet store, you pick up a pet, or you walk out in your backyard and you see something that's injured. Um, it's keeping that balance between what we know and what we do and how the animals and the environment responds to that. That is probably the best part of the profession. It's one thing to have somebody bring in a sick snake that's got parasites, but when they leave and they understand more about that snake and they understand more about the world it came from and the world it's going into, that is it's a major notch in your belt to know that you've made that difference for an animal and people for that matter. Um, Me personally, I've been known to say this on many occasions. I like being the Captain Kirk of medicine, to go someplace where no man has gone before. And, for example, I just crawled out of surgery with a small bird that somehow had mysteriously broke its beak probably about a month or so ago. And no one noticed it until about 2 weeks ago. And it took her 2 weeks to find someone that would fix it, hence the phone call she made to me. And we just spent a good 2+ hours in surgery. And when I left this bird about 5 minutes ago before this phone call, he was actually eating his first bowl of applesauce with his new beak. Well, when you think about all the skills that we do, we're neurologists, we're orthopedics, we're a zoologist, we're also just a veterinarian. With all of that knowledge, I still will never see the kind of money that a regular human medical doctor makes. And when again, and I just finished doing surgery. I did orthopedic surgery and maxillofacial surgery on a bird, and I won't even see an orthopedic surgeon's paycheck. So yes, being paid what we're paid is the biggest drawback of being a wildlife or an exotic veterinarian. Typically, I will easily put in about 40 hours. But as you know, as a doctor, we answer our phone calls after hours. There's emergencies, so really, being a doctor is a 24/7 job. I wake up first thing in the morning, and because I have so much media and I answer so many questions on the media, before I've even had my first cup of coffee, I'm telling somebody how to fix a bird in Africa or South America, and then I finally make it to work, and then I get to fix birds here. It is cool. There's no doubt about it. This is the coolest thing I've ever done. I mean, and every day I get to do something cool on a regular basis. Putting an orthopedic or an artificial leg in a tortoise a few months ago, doing the beak surgery today. These are things that aren't normally done. And to cross that bridge, and to sit back and make it happen, it's just magic. It's awesome. Having a good team and having people and clients and technicians that believe in you is really important. Uh-huh. Yes, I still wear my sock shoes. And tell her I'm wearing giraffe print scrubs. I'm still working on the fire truck, but I had to put it aside for the last 9 months to almost a year because I've been making a house. But if I still have the fire truck and it just has some clutch problems, other than that, it'd be driving over people in traffic. Say that again. Okay. I will tell you this. It really is kind of seasonal for us. The winter months are probably the most frustrating because I don't get as many patients, and I'm always wondering if something is needing help. And then again, when it comes to springtime, I have too many patients. So, I mean, just when you think of turtles or shorebirds and stuff like that, a lot of our songbirds and things will actually migrate out of the area when it starts, when seasons start to change. And then, of course, when you think about turtles, they're looking for a place to lay their eggs or to mate first thing in spring. So I see a lot of those injured. And of course, come wintertime, everything is either hibernating, brumating, or just doesn't find itself getting too injured too often. So there's too little work in the wintertime and too much work in the summer and spring. Okay, well, here's the good news. One of the first things when it comes to keeping promises or not being able to keep up with them, that one of the first things we learn in school is that being a doctor, that we have no control over the universe in that way. We really, a lot of times I would have fixed a bone in a dog that I knew would be fine, but it goes home with somebody and they don't keep it in a cage or they don't follow up with their rechecks, and it grows crooked or it doesn't heal at all. Okay, so you learn very quickly being a doctor is that you just don't make promises. As a matter of fact, I just finished telling a client just about 5 minutes ago, we as doctors, our job is to paint the worst case scenario and do everything we can to make sure things come up rosy. And like this bird surgery, we didn't know it was going to work. I had no idea how hard and frustrating it was going to be when I started this process. But at the same time, getting it fixed or getting to the point where it can eat normally, at least for a while anyway, means that we passed that first phase. We got that first step done, and it opens us up for more steps later on. All we can do is try. There are no promises, so we don't make those promises if we're a smart doctor. Thank you, thank you. Oh well, she's paid to say that. Everybody wants to meet Daisy. She's my girl. You are more than welcome. I was glad to help. I did video record this, so if you ever have problems with it, I may actually put it on YouTube or something fun like that. You're welcome. All right, you have a good weekend. All right, bye bye.